Ladies and gentlemen, the fight's just wrapped up. As you can see, we had a little bit of fun on the stream. We had a bit of Russian glazing. I was being a little bit biased to play it up, but honestly, that was more competitive than I expected. That was very competitive. A great performance from Dustin Poirier, and man, I was very worried. There was a lot of moments. I'm gonna take this shit off. There was a lot of moments. Let's get serious. There was a lot of moments. Jesus Christ, looks like cat hair. There was a lot of moments I was very worried in that fight. He comes out early, takes him down, and he has his back for 4 minutes. He has his back for about 3 to 4 minutes. I thought that the fight was over there. The fact that he wasn't able to finish that was a little bit concerning to me, but it didn't look like he was really selling out to finish the fight there. Then, I believe it was the third round, he gets him down again, holds on his back, gets to his back again with about 3 or 4 minutes left in the round. Not able to finish him again. Dustin gets up. And from that point on, Dustin was doing very well with the takedown defense. After the first 2 rounds, Islam was pretty much taking him down at will. Then after that, he was having a very hard time. He would land a strike. He was doing well. Like, Islam honestly was not getting like pieced up on the feet where he had to like panic wrestle. But every time he landed a good strike, he would follow it up with a takedown, and a lot of times it wasn't scoring. And I was thinking, at this point, you're doing well in the striking. Just keep striking. He had some moments where he was hurting Dustin on the feet. Dustin definitely landed his fair share of strikes as well. But a couple times when they were in that tight clinch, Islam was sneaking knees up that were doing significant damage. Dustin was landing some heavy body shots though. When they got in there tight, Dustin was landing some heavy body shots. Actually, I thought that Islam was showing a little bit of fatigue, but as we got to the later rounds, I think Dustin was definitely the more tired. Islam was having a little bit more success on the feet as it got later. And then, finally he eventually takes him down with that nasty. Actually, if you guys remember that viral clip of Islam doing the sweep on that guy Chase Saldate that trains at AKA with him, he did this where he grabs the hand, sweeps it across his body, and throws him down. He actually did that exact same technique, but with Dustin Poirier's foot. If you go back and watch it, he grabs the foot, sweeps it down, takes his momentum to the ground. I gotta rewatch it, but I think initially he was on his back. But in the end, he eventually transitioned into a Darce and finishes Dustin Poirier. Dustin tapped. Looked like he actually went out for a second, but he did actually tap at that moment. And, going forward, good performance from Islam, but not something that makes me think that he's absolute Teflon, unstoppable champion that'll reign forever, retire undefeated. Of course, he's already lost before, but leave on his own terms, drop the belt, and not lose the belt. I don't know if I see that for Islam, bro. I feel like somebody out there could get him. He takes a lot of damage. He got a nasty cut right in the middle of his head, right in the middle of his forehead. His eye was bruised. His whole face was bruised up. I mean, the guy takes damage, man. It's not like he's just walking through these guys. I know he's number one pound for pound. I know he's so dominant, and I know he's a great fighter, but he takes damage. He gets hit. He's been dropped. He doesn't have, of course, the Khabib comparisons always come up, but I think, of course, he does have better striking than Khabib. Offense. But his striking defense, I don't think is as good as Khabib's. I don't think his chin's as good as Khabib's. And I don't know. I think he was definitely struggling to get takedowns in the middle of the octagon. He was only really able to take down Dustin when they were both fresh on the cage, which Khabib was a master on the cage. Khabib would get you down on the cage, and then you can't move, and then he reigns ground and pound. Islam, that's a big thing with Islam. He doesn't ground and pound almost at all. He gets you on the ground, And he's more of getting to the back position, play, trying to get the neck, play with Kimuras, play with arm bars. He doesn't really take mount and just try to punish you. Khabib would sit in your guard, Khabib would sit in mount, and Khabib would just rain ground and pound. Islam never does that. If Islam gets you on the ground, he's working for submissions. And, although I think that's great. You're trying to finish the fight. I think that in addition of, some of that vicious ground and pound that Khabib had would make him a lot more dangerous. I think next for him would probably be Arman Tsarukyan. Dude, this shit looks crazy. Arman Tsarukyan would probably be next. I think you can beat Arman, but I think that's a competitive fight. I don't think that Arman is like completely out of that fight in any way. Hold on. I don't think that Arman is in any way not competitive in that fight. I think that that's a fight that can go either way. And I think that that's something that should be taken very seriously. Arman has come on very strong. That's a dangerous fight. That's a dangerous fight. I feel like Islam is I don't think he's going to retire on his own terms. I think he'll be beat. I told everyone Islam was going to win, but they didn't listen. Yeah, I feel like everybody was just kind of hopeful for Dustin. I'm reading the chat, by the way. I think everybody was kind of hopeful for Dustin just because it's his last chance. I'll talk about Dustin in a second as well, but after tonight's performance, or even after the second Volk performance kind of washed away the first Volk performance, and people kind of ignored some of the deficiencies and errors that we saw him make in that first Volk fight. But honestly, maybe he won't lose at 155. But I think he has a very hard time at 170 with Leon Edwards. I think Leon Edwards is not. I think Leon's a very hard fight for him, man. Leon's a fucking hard fight. If he was having a lot of struggle taking down Dustin. We saw how good Leon's takedown defense was. Usman couldn't take him down in the third fight. Usman struggled to take him down. Leon scored his own takedown on Usman. I think Leon's a tough fight, bro. I think Leon's a tough fight, and I think that Dustin, the future for Dustin, sounded like he was maybe leaning towards retiring. I think that he has nothing else to prove. His, chances at a title are probably over unless he gets like a short notice thing where he's the only guy that can step in, and maybe some luck of the draw, like Michael Bisping type situation, he could get another title fight. But I think as far as working your way up the ranks and getting a title shot, it's pretty much over for him. I think that he would maybe come back for like a money fight, grudge match, main event, maybe against somebody like Colby. I think if Colby called him out right now, he might take that just to bury that grudge, bury that hatching, make some money, and get a good send-off fight. And know for sure that he's going to retire instead of kind of, get the round of applause and, full retirement send off. I think maybe he would come back for Colby, but outside of that, I don't really see any other person that he would, be so jump out the window to fight right now. So I think Colby is really the only fight that he would take, maybe at 170, just to have some fun. Besides that, I think in the next year or two, I wouldn't be surprised. Colby hasn't won since 2017. Stop. Which is why I just said it would be a fun fight for both of them because they're both not in the title fucking contention. Why don't you listen, buddy? Anyway, what was I saying? You just got me off my fucking point. Yeah, if he doesn't want to do that, I think he should have no shame in just riding off into the sunset, go make a bag, and go fucking box Jake Paul or Nate Diaz. Makhachev is Khabib 3.0. I don't know about that. Khabib never took damage like Islam took tonight. Khabib never took damage like that. Islam does have better offensive striking, but I think his defensive striking is not as good as Khabib's. I think his chin's not as good as Khabib's, and I think his tenacity, and relentlessness to get takedowns is not as good as Khabib's. Of course, that comes with the fact that he has better striking. You know, if he misses a takedown, he's not going to shoot 20 times because he's like, all right, fuck it, we'll just stand. Versus Khabib will shoot 20 times and eventually get it. Islam, he shoots once, he misses, he'll give up on it. So he's not as tenacious with the takedowns, and I think his striking defense is not as good. But yeah. Besides that, great fight. I don't know who won fight of the night, but I think the main event should have been fight of the night because there really wasn't any fights down the card that, you know, jumped out as a, you know, fight of the night contender. You said Makhachev is 5 times more entertaining. Yeah. Well, almost losing is more entertaining to the fans. Dominance is not entertaining. So, yeah. The fact that Dustin had moments where you thought he was going to win, that makes it entertaining. Versus when Dustin fought Khabib, there wasn't really moments where you thought he was going to win. So that's, of course, that's less entertaining. That doesn't make him better though, because he's more like the fans are like, oh, Dustin had a chance to knock him out. That doesn't make you better. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, we're gonna briefly talk about the co-main. Thank you for the follow. And I think that's on Kick. We're gonna move on to the co-main event, man. This fight was this one was a tough watch. This one was a tough watch, man. Man, I thought Costa was, I mean, really struggling with keeping Strickland off of him. He just, for the first 3 rounds, he's just walking backwards and pretty much letting Strickland walk him down and, you know, pitter pat, jab, straight punches, jab, cross, push kick, jab, cross, push kick, jab, cross, push kick, pretty much just at will. He's not really standing his ground to keep Strickland off of him. I thought he had a better 4th and 5th round, but even in those, you know, ring generalship, which is a big thing in boxing, I thought Strickland pretty much held that the whole fight. He was dictating where the fight was held. And I thought that Costa would, you know, should have tried something else, man. Just in the boxing, he wasn't having much success. He was having success with some of the leg kicks, but then Strickland started to check him, and he was hurting himself. He was throwing kicks and hurting himself. I thought that it would have been maybe wise to maybe mix in a takedown or a clinch or, you know, try to get him against the cage, anything like that. But staying at distance and striking was just not working in it. And that's pretty much what I thought. My prediction, if y'all saw my prediction video, I said that I think that Strickland will dominate. He'll use his Philly shell. He'll use his jab cross. He'll keep Strickland off of him for about 2 to 3 rounds. And then Costa's just going to say, fuck it. Okay, he's beating me, but he's not hurting me. So I'm just going to walk him down. And I'm going to, you know, throw caution to the wind like he used to do against pre-Izzy. We haven't seen him really just walk people down and throw strikes wildly like he did in the Romero fight or in the who was the guy he finished? Fuck, who did he finish? I can't remember. It's not coming to my head right now. The guy that he walked down, Johnny Hendricks. I couldn't move on. He just walked down Johnny Hendricks, walked down Uriah Hall. And it just seems he doesn't have, you know, the confidence to do that anymore. Actually, in the 5th round, he gets dropped. And the commentators were kind of saying that it was close and that he could have won the fight. I didn't see that at all. I thought that Strickland won the first 3 rounds very clearly, maybe even the first 4. The 4th and 5th were the most competitive. The 5th, I thought that Costa was winning. But then the last 30 seconds, he gets dropped. And Strickland is literally chasing him around the ring, walking him down just like he did in the Izzy fight, yelling in his face, pretty much bitching him. Respectfully, I'm not, you know, these are fighters. They're not, nobody's a bitch, but I'm just saying. figuratively speaking, walking him down, kind of going bully mode. And Costa really didn't have an answer for it. He didn't close strong at all, and they gave the decision to Strickland. I think it was a split decision. Somebody gave it to. I mean, you can expect that. You can expect that we're gonna have one. We're always gonna have one wild out there scorecard. If it goes to decision, you just never fucking know, bro. But I thought the Strickland clearly won it. At least 3-2, maybe even 4-1. Next for Strickland, I don't know, man. What's next for Strickland? I guess he waits out whoever wins Drickus versus Izzy, and then can get a rematch against either one. If not that, yeah, yeah. I would love to see Costa maybe fight the winner or loser of Imavov versus Cannonier. I would love to see Cannonier versus Costa. But man, I don't think Costa's built for 5-round fights, man. Costa and a 5-round fight is not a good combination. I think they should keep him in 3-rounders. He was able to be very entertaining in the Whitaker fight. He was able to be very entertaining in the Luke Rockhold fight. But when you put him in 5-rounders, man, he takes long, rest moments and lulls in the action where he's really not doing anything, and where he's kind of standing there mouth breathing and trying to conserve his energy because he doesn't, it seems like he just doesn't have either a style or the body type conducive to 5-round fights. So I would recommend keeping him in 3-rounders, bro. Keep him in 3-rounders and just give him, exciting guys. But as far as the title picture, I think he was ranked number 7. He'll probably either stay there or drop even further. I don't think he's going to be in the title picture anytime soon, but he can definitely still be a guy that can be very exciting. Let me pull up the middleweight rankings. Let's see what could be a fun fight for both of these guys. Let's pull this up. I hate Islam and Khabib. Come on, what the fork? What do you mean? Respect greatness, brother. I'm returning that hat, by the way. Oh, you're a Charles Oliveira fan. Hey, man. I like Charles too, but middleweight. Let's see. Strickland, Izzy. Oh, okay. Strickland could maybe fight the winner of Whitaker versus Hamzat. That could be fun. Dustin got to retire. Yeah, I think Dustin either retires and goes to box like Nate Diaz or something, or he takes the Colby fight. I think Colby would be the only fight because he really seems to have genuine dislike for Colby. That would be a grudge match, a fight that, they've been calling each other out for years. Just a fun fight at 170 just to send him off into retirement. I think that would be the only fight because neither one of them are going to be in the title picture anytime soon. So, yeah. But for middleweight, yeah, Strickland could fight the winner of Whitaker and Hamzat. Damn, Hamzat's all the way down at 10. And then honestly, Costa could fight the loser. Costa could fight the... If Hamzat loses to Whitaker, Hamzat versus Costa, let's rematch. Let's rebook that. If Hamzat loses to Whitaker, let's rebook that. Hamzat versus Costa if Hamzat loses, but of course, Hamzat's my guy. I love Whitaker, but Hamzat's my guy. I'm hoping Hamzat will not deter. He was the hottest thing in the sport, and then, a lot of things happen. A lot of people turned on him, hoping that he's able to still stay on track. So, but if he loses, I think Costa would be a very entertaining fight for him. But yeah, I'm curious to know what you guys think. We'll put this up on YouTube. Ask you guys what we think. Reactions to the fight. If y'all think Islam, who y'all think is Islam's biggest threat at lightweight? Who do y'all think is Islam's biggest threat at lightweight? Who do y'all think is next for Strickland and Costa? And Will Dustin retire, or will he come back for one fun retirement send off fight, maybe against somebody like Colby, an older name that they could maybe throw in a main card and just have a fun send off fight. I think Colby's really the only realistic fight for him. Islam versus Arman, yeah, yeah. Arman, for guys in the top 10, I think Arman and Gamrot would be the two. Everybody else is kind of just old names. We got Charles, we got Justin, we got Dustin, we got Chandler, we got Fazeev, we got Moicano, we got Max. Yeah, I don't see any of those other guys really being a threat to him besides Arman, maybe Gamrot, maybe BSD in some years. I don't know if he really had staff and if his performance was really thrown off that much against Dustin, but he really shit the bed there and walked right into getting knocked the fuck out. So not too high on him right now. Um, you think Kamzat can beat Sean Strickland? Yeah, I agree. I think Hamza can beat anybody, man. If he's on point, I think Hamza can beat anybody. My dream, here's my dream right here, and I'm gonna end this part. I'm gonna post this part on my YouTube. I'm gonna keep talking to my Twitch and YouTube chat here on live, but I'm gonna clip it right here for the YouTube reaction. Hamza, champion at 185, versus Shavkat, champion at 170. Both undefeated. Imagine that. Come on, bro. That's cinema. That's cinema. Hamzat wins against Whitaker, fights either Dricus or Whitaker. Or no. Hamzat wins against Whitaker, fights either Dricus or Izzy, wins the title. Shavkat waits out Bilal and Leon, beats whoever wins that. Both undefeated. Shavkat, Hamzat, 170 champ, 185 champ, undefeated versus undefeated. Who's really that man? That's what I want to see in the next year or two. That'll be beautiful. I tweeted that like a year ago. I said Hamzat versus Shavkat. Champ, fight. Cinema. Give me that. Insert that in my veins. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you guys think, your reactions to the fight. If you thought anybody was robbed, who you thought stood out on the night, let me know. Thank you guys for watching. We'll be live for all the next fights. The next stream we're going to do, I believe, is going to be Tank Davis versus Frank Martin, and also Benavidez fight on that same night, June the 15th. That'll be our next fight stream. I'll catch y'all then. Peace out.